Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Do us a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us at Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check us out also on Reddit and Discord. And don't forget to leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
What concerned you most about the Bomber loss to Calgary? How about lack of
Everything.
adjustments? Yeah, everything, yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Specifically, lack of
Yes.
adjustments, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. Like, Calgary jumped out to a 29, 30 to whatever lead, 6 in the first half. And it looked like the Bombers were just staying true to their game plan. Whatever that game plan was, didn't keep slamming their heads into the wall, trying to make it work. Lack of play action. 2 pick sixes by Zach Caleros. That's concerning. The first was on a second and long. Maybe try and use play action early in the game. Could have threatened with the draw at least from that shotgun. And on the second pick, it was like, what kind of play was that? You had, was it Wheatfall or Clercius and Oliveira within 5 yards distance of each other? So I don't know if that was the route that was run wrong or the play call was just that and is not a very good play. But in both cases, that's very concerning. Just the lack of efficiency on offense, the lack of effectiveness on offense, and the inability to make changes.
I agree with you on that. That second interception was like you could see that one coming. The Bombers have liked their sideline passes the last couple games, and they've gone away with a couple. Even against Edmonton, was it Clercius' catch, where it was pretty close. If the guy doesn't fall or trip, he may intercept that or at least knock it down.
Yeah.
And in this one, you could see that one. The Calgary guy was in a perfect spot. I don't even know why Zach threw it in that.
He's both of them.
Yeah, and it's like you're trying to get that ball, like, what is it, 50 yards across the field, for a 5-yard gain. And they've done it a lot this year. And yeah, not a lot of picks, but close calls. And a lot of the times, those plays aren't turning into first downs anyways, because that ball from Zach Claros, unfortunately, is taking a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And it's hanging up there a bit. So I don't like those play calls at all. But yeah, the offense, the game was close. Well, not close. Sorry, the game was still within striking distance. The Bombers would have scored that touchdown at the end of the half. Maybe things are different going into the second half. But Zach Claros sails it over Wheatfall's head with a great opportunity to cut that lead and go into half with some momentum. But yeah, they just couldn't get going, and the 2 pick sixes definitely hurt. I'm going to go on the other side, though, in the defense, to me, which has played very strongly so far this season, concern me and how they've been getting beat. Tre Ford had them on deep balls in the Edmonton game. Calgary got some big plays against this Bomber defense. And that's uncharacteristic that we haven't seen. We've seen the Bomber defense give up plays, not necessarily big plays, but a lot of yardage and then, stifling at the end zone. Teams have figured something out here, and they're going deep on this Bomber defense, and it's worked out. Calgary didn't run a lot of plays, but they averaged 7.1 yards per play.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. And over 4 big plays for the Bombers defense against it in this game. So, yeah, there was a lot not to like in this game. So hopefully the Bombers just erase this, fix the things that are wrong, and move on.
Yeah. So they can erase this by getting a win.
Yeah.
Against the Stamps in this rematch. Let's look at the Bomber blueprint for this week. What do they got to do to win? Let's go offense first.
Well, you kind of hit on it, right? They got to get a little bit more consistency in their game. They got to figure out what's working. They got to use Brady Oliveira, and they did on that first drive against Calgary, right? But Calgary scored a touchdown, Winnipeg field goal, and then the pick six happened, I think, right after the Bombers. Was it their second drive or third drive? Can't remember now off the top of my head. But and then it's like things kind of unraveled, and Brady Oliveira wasn't used as much. And sparingly here and there, and they relied on Zach to kind of carry them. So they got to use Brady Oliveira. Brady Oliveira needs to be the guy, and he had a great first drive against Calgary. They need to use him again. The only problem is now you got Stanley Bryan is probably out, so you got Mika Vanderpool going to left guard. You got left tackle. You got Gabe Wallace going to left guard. So it's going to be a bit of a different O-line there, and the O-line, gave up some pressure last game against Calgary. So they're going to be in a bit tougher here with those two guys playing on the left side.
Did Calgary get any sacks though?
No sacks, but some good pressures for the most part.
Bombers on offense have to convert in the red zone. A field goal from the 10. First drive. That just gives Calgary confidence that they can stand up when it matters. You know, a quality that we've gotten used to the past few years with the Bomber defense. Bend but don't break. Calgary gave up a lot of plays. They've given up probably the most plays allowed in the league. But the Bombers have to cash in the red zone. And I think the red zone for this week has to be from the 30-yard line in. They can't be depending on field goals and Sergio Castillo to beat Calgary. Field goal in the second quarter from the 13-yard line.
Yeah.
Field goal from the 21-yard line in the third. That can't happen. They have to score touchdowns. And you said use Brady Oliveira. Man, I've been saying this since 2020, 2023. Use the heavy set, and it strictly doesn't have to be on short yardage. Like, I've been going on this for how long? Put in Gabe Wallace, put in Tui Ellie at the tight end position where you can really max out and maul the hell out of the Stampeders defense. And it's not just about establishing the running game, it's about beating the hell out of them so Zach Caleros has time to throw the ball later on in the game. Like, over the past couple years, heavy set and trips receivers to one side has been very successful on this team. Like, what is Calgary going to do? I've knocked down stuff here. What is Calgary going to do? Are you going to not put your DBs on one side and let Brady Oliveira and the heavy side run all over your ass? Or are you going to leave it steady and then gamble on Zach Caleros finding the open receiver on the trip side? Like, I don't understand why they aren't using this more often. So that's my offense. Score in the red zone and use the heavy set.
And before that game against Calgary, the red zone was actually doing pretty well. Right, that was one of our biggest complaints last year was they weren't getting it done. In the first 3 games, they were getting it done. Against Calgary, they weren't. And now you're also we didn't talk about it. You're also without Dalton Schoen for this game as well, right? So you're gonna have to have some other guys stepping up. And it's interesting to me that Dylan Mitchell isn't the guy that's been practicing with the starting offense. Yeah, it's been Cody Case, sorry, in there instead. So that signing for Mitchell in the offseason is not looking like a good move for the Bombers right now.
We'll see. Defense. How about create pressure on Vernon Adams? Hopefully create some turnovers. You know, he did not have a huge passing game, a couple touchdowns, barely 250.
Just over 200, I think, even. But he didn't have to, right?
No. He delivered on a couple big plays. I think actually on the most part, the defense was pretty solid that game. Yeah, they could definitely tighten up on the running game. Like, Mills loves to play against the Bombers, but they got to create pressure on Vernon Adams. They got to blitz more down the pressure with like Kyrie Wilson. And you say big plays. Where's the safety? We've been applauding Jamal Parker lately.
We were praising him, yeah. Yeah, and I agree that the defense wasn't all like terrible. Like 16 points, obviously, out of 37 were on the 14 points were on the offense, right? So, but the big plays that they've been giving up, and Dietrich Mills was just under 100 yards. No pressure. That's crazy, really. No pressure. And that's with rushing 4. So they're going to have to figure things out and get those guys going because Vaughters and Willie Nelson, Jake Thomas, those guys weren't getting it done. So you have to go after that. But also on the defensive side of things, you had missed tackles. You know, you had catches that were made by the Calgary receiver beating our guys for the ball, right? There wasn't enough going on there, and that starts at the front, you know, and they need those guys to step up because this Calgary offense has actually done pretty well, right? They have the second best net offense in the league behind Hamilton, I believe. You know, and like you said, Dietrich Mills loves playing the Bombers, and he had some big plays, he had some big carries, and the Bombers didn't have a answer for the most part.
No,
right? And to me, I'd love to know what Adam Big Hill said to this Calgary team to kind of get them. Like the way they played, it's like they had all the answers for the Bombers on offense and defense. So I wonder if Big Hills was a huge factor in all this, or if Calgary was just ready for what the Bombers were going to do. But yeah, they were ready. The Calgary was ready. The Bombers now have to be ready. And for the most part, you know, Bombers have been good in these bounce back games.
Yeah.
You know, and at home, they're 31-5 at home since COVID 2021 or whatever it was. So, you know, it's great that they're at home for this one, and they need to win this one because now the season series is in the balance. You lose this one, Calgary's got the season series and already a leg up on you.
Aren't they like 14? Aren't they have like a 14-game winning streak after the bye?
12-0
Ooh,
since 2021. So
12 game.
yeah, and Calgary's lost 8 straight in Winnipeg. So
Something's got to break.
so yeah, well that's the thing. The other one was Calgary's undefeated on the road, Winnipeg's undefeated at home. So something's breaking.
Ooh, stakes are high. Stakes is high. Who is that? Tripod Quest? Doesn't matter. Special teams. What do you got for them?
Yeah, I mean, Vival's just gotta. He's got like Peyton Logan's probably out again, right? And Tre Vival, he brought that one catch out of the end zone. Not the smartest move, but otherwise he's been solid. Nothing. I thought I was expecting more out of this guy after the first couple games, but he's getting it done. But lately, not close to breaking anything.
Yeah.
Castillo is Castillo. Jameson Sheehan probably had his best game. I think
Yeah.
he's 53-yard average.
Damn.
So they got to keep doing their job. For the most part, they weren't. They were probably out of the three. They were probably the better squad, kind of thing, in that last game.
They got to take advantage of that Calgary kick coverage. There are not a lot of glaring weaknesses in this Calgary team early in the season. Let me remind you, this is still very early in the CFL season. Lots will change. It doesn't really start ramping up until after Labor Day, and that's still 4 weeks away.
Yeah, Bombers were 0-4 last year, right? So
just like the longest preseason ever.
Yeah.
Special teams, though, take advantage of that Calgary kick coverage. Focus on perfect execution. Open up those holes for Vival, and he will, well, hopefully break one. It's not a prediction. That's not a prediction. But, Calgary has, I think, the third last ranked kickoff coverage in the league. Take advantage of that. When Peyton is good to go, Peyton Logan, when he's good to go, so Vavel wants to make an impression. He knows the time is limited. So open up some holes for him, and I think this might be the week, but it's not a prediction.
Yeah, exactly. Castillo's Castillo, right? He'll continue to do his job and all that. So they need to take advantage somewhere. And at special teams might be where they have the leg up. Credit to Calgary though. They added some guys. They had a good draft. And Dave Dickinson's kind of turned that around so far this year. Big win against Saskatchewan, even after that whole craziness of the smoke and canceled game, postponed game, and all that. So, yeah, they're firing on all cylinders right now.
Which Bomber do you see having a big game this week?
I'm going to keep going back to this all the time. It's Brady Oliveira, and he needs to have a big game for the Bombers to have a chance in this. So I expect him to have a big game and give the Bombers an opportunity. They need to, Zach Claros was good against Edmonton, bad against Calgary. He had his moments against Calgary, but I don't know what he was seeing on those interceptions. They need to have this ball in Brady Oliveira's hands. He's your best player. He's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
You got to give him more opportunities and not necessarily just handoffs, short passes, shovel passes, screen passes, whatever it is. Just get the guy more involved.
He didn't get 20 touches, did he?
Not even close. He was well on his way on that first drive.
He got 13 rushes. I don't know how many catches. I think because he had a good game last game, and because Calgary is not giving up the play, and they're not giving many yards after the catch, they clog up the middle of the field, and possibly with Schoen out, who knows for how long, man, that might put focus on Dembski, especially when they're looking to convert on first down. So that might leave Kevin's Clercius even more open this week. I think he had like 10 catches or 9 this week against the Stamps. So I think he'll have a good day. Maybe not as many receptions, but shoot, if he trades in 3 or 4 of those receptions for a touchdown reception, that's cool too. So I'm going to go with Kevin's Clercius this week. With Tyrone Jones finally getting the nod, because I'm a huge Tyrone Jones fan.
Oh, yeah,
those who know, that's my dude from back in the day. That's my favorite Bomber of all time. Finally getting in the Ring of Honor. And this was a hard question.
Very, yes.
Which current young Bomber, first 3 years in the league, is headed for greatness? And greatness doesn't necessarily mean Hall of Fame. Greatness could be so many things, but is a great player in the league. Like Winston McManus is a great player in the league. Is he a Hall of Famer? Who knows? Not yet. But greatness. Who do you got? Should I go first? Do you want to go first?
You go first. I want to see who you got.
Man, it's so hard to tell. But I'm going to go with Michael Ayers. Great athlete. Whenever he's on the field in limited action, and in the couple starts that he's gotten last year, he's always around the ball. He's always up there in tackles. He's up there in special teams tackles. So, he has a good motor. He has a nose for the ball. I think even though his career might not finish or peak with the Bombers, I think he'll be a great player in the CFL.
That's the thing, right? Most players don't stick with the CFL team anymore for very long, like they did back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have these guys sitting here for a long time, 5-10 years in one uniform. A la Milt Stiegel, even, right? Like that guy stayed here forever. He stayed here with the shittiest quarterbacks he could have played with, when he could have probably had better opportunities going and playing with Cavill or anyone else, right? But so you're not going to have that. So that makes it tough. So I'm going to go with Wheatfall. If he sticks around, and even if, in the CFL and all that, I think he's well off to a great start in the league. I would have picked Ontario Wilson if he stuck around, but that's the thing with Wheatfall. If he has another good season here, and which he has started off good, a young guy, he may get a look in the NFL, and he may not end up going to play very long in the NFL or anything, but that takes him a couple years out of the CFL. But I think if someone on the Bomber on the offensive side of the ball is going to do it, I think it would be Wheatfall.
Bomber fans, see if you can answer that question. First 3 years.
That's tough though, man, right?
Woo! It was tough. Like Evan Holm? No, he's in his fourth. Doesn't count. If the Bomber offense stalls like last game, should O'Shea look to Streveler?
Yes. Yes, I think you have to, right? And based off of Streveler's first game, how he played, and he played well, I think you got to give him a look if Cavillo struggles. It's been two out of 3 games Zach Collaros has struggled, in those games. He had, against Edmonton, he's looked great. But I mean, look at Edmonton's D. Everyone's looked great against Edmonton's D so far.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So now you did not look good against a BC D, and then Calgary's D had some answers for you. So I think you have to think about it and move to Streveler, and maybe get Streveler a little bit more involved if the offense is stalled. Maybe not switched altogether, but you get some more plays in there for Streveler.
And I think, come on, Streveler has to be at least in the Bombers' thoughts in regards to a succession plan. Very early in the season, Zach Collaros can come back for another year. Who knows? Maybe they'll wait for Drew Brown to get on the market and get him back. But any which way, I'm saying with Chris Streveler, yes, 100%. Give him the shot. Like you said, he looked good against BC. It was like the Bombers' first game of the year. BC was already warmed up. He looked more than competent. He's making some great throws, like to Dembski deep in the middle of the end zone, to Wheatfall deep into the corner route into the end zone. He looked much better than he has in years previous, where people were really concerned about or at least had confidence issues in his arm, were concerned about his decision-making abilities. And yeah, he gambled on that one to Dembski, and yeah, he made the throw. So I think you do. Are you telling me that there isn't maybe 12 to 15 plays in that playbook that are specifically made for Chris Streveler and his skill set? There has to be. So that opens up the playbook, and probably something the Stamps have not seen. So I think in moments where the team is struggling like last week, get it, maybe not commit to him for the rest of the game in the first half or the second half, but at least give him a taste, see if Calgary adapts, see if they can't adapt, and see what happens. Because you can't, like I said earlier, they stuck to this game plan, whatever it was. You can't do that. It looked really bad, and you got to show this guy some confidence in him. Let him play, because he's got to be part of the succession plan. No?
You would think so. Otherwise, why do you keep bringing him back? Or make him your third guy, and he's your sneak guy, and then give Terry Wilson the chance to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
Right? To me, I would not have played Zach Collaros that whole rest of the game against Calgary. After that second pick six, that would have been it. and either you put in Streveler or you throw in Wilson, right, and get them some reps, because at that point the game was over. And Zach Claros, again, I go back to the never mind the pick six, but the overthrow on Wheatfall at the end of that first half. Right there, that shows me Zach's head was not proper in that game, right? Yeah. I have confidence in Zach. I'm not saying, hey, let's bench him and start Streveler from now on, right? Because Zach has done a lot, and I still have confidence in the guy that he can get it done. But he wasn't on in that game, and you could see that. So I would have switched to Streveler, especially you started to drive on that before that second interception, and then he throws that, and then it's just like, what are you doing, right? Yeah. So you need Streveler, throw in some more packages, get the guy in there, get him some reps. And he brings a different dimension to the game. Otherwise, why did you sign the guy? If he was all just to be your short yardage guy, you should have went for what's his name, Tommy Stevens.
Yeah, or Jake Dolegala.
Yeah, that's it.
Just keep him around.
Exactly. So,
so like with situations like this, and then we look back to the Grey Cup. Zach Collaros, busted up hand. Dalton Schoen, Adam Bighill playing injured. Is there a concern on your end with loyalty and Mike O'Shea?
Yes, I think too much of it. Again, yeah, you go back to that Grey Cup game. I would not have put Zach Claros in. The guy said himself, I can't even grip the ball. He could see through his finger almost, like to the bone.
Yeah.
Right? And you're putting this guy in. You're putting in Adam Bighill the year before against Montreal. Dalton Schoen. And the thing with that one was not everyone knew that even Schoen was going to play in that game. Bomber related. And all of a sudden now he's out there. And he didn't last. He didn't finish the game. So, yeah, some of these loyalty plays a factor. And it's interesting to me what O'Shea does with loyalty and where he picks it, right? With guys like Dalton Schoen and whatever. And some guys he'll just let them go. But, yeah, I think loyalty plays too much of a big factor.
I'm very concerned with Dalton Schoen being injured again. And flirting with the 6-game injured list. It's a concern. It's a concern.
It's not good when he's supposed to be one of your top guys and one of your veteran guys. And this is 3 years in a row now, right? Where he's not lasting. Or 2 years in a row where he's not lasting this season. And the year before where he got injured right before the playoffs or whatever it was. Or it was earlier than that, actually, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not good. He is, unfortunately, like he there's a few times this season already where I've seen him get up and he's wincing.
Yeah.
And when I saw that against Calgary, it was like, oh shit, this is not good. So, yeah.
Let's push this question up though. Then, do you think the Bombers made a mistake in signing Schoen and letting Lawler walk?
Yeah, right now, yes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at Kenny Lawler. The guy's on what? He's on pace,
record-breaking pace.
Yeah, 25 TDs, over 2,000 yards, which he said he was going to get a couple of years ago with the Bombers.
Yeah.
And to me, yeah, I know Lawler missed a lot of time when he was with Edmonton due to injury, but against the Bombers, I mean, he missed some time with injuries and the DUI stuff. But Dalton Schoen, I mean, he missed all of last year. I think Kenny Lawler is, to me, Dalton Schoen's a safer guy, whereas Lawler opens up the game a little bit more for your offense.
Yeah.
So I think Lawler would have been the better option in that situation, and maybe Lawler is just going off because Bo Levi is just having a resurgence and loves to chuck that ball down the field.
Yeah.
Whereas Zach's arm was kind of not as good anymore, and it seems a little bit weaker as the seasons go on. So, yeah, I think right now they should have probably went back to Lawler.
I think Schoen is Collaros' guy.
Yeah.
But Lawler is the better receiver. Like, he will break the record. He will break the record. Like, the quarterbacks, especially Bo Levi Mitchell, playing in the East, well, playing against the CFL period, where the pass rush is what's happened to the great CFL pass rushers now? There's barely any. Willie Jefferson, Jake Ceresna,
who's not having a great season.
Betts, maybe.
Betts, yeah, I haven't heard his name much at all.
Used to be every team had one.
Yeah.
Tyrone Jones, Bobby Jurison, Grover Covington, James Parker. Like, I'll go to the East even now, but we don't have time. Like, every team had one. And with that, it's a perfect storm for Kenny Lawler to go off and break that record. 27
Yeah.
touchdowns for sure. Bo Levi Mitchell will have all day to look down the field, and he'll hit him.
Yeah, especially against that Ottawa D. That
Ugh.
shouldn't be an issue.
And the Toronto D. Yikes.
Yeah, that's
What
the thing. Yeah, Toronto
what?
D. No Winston McManus, so that's probably hasn't helped them at all. So
Oh my goodness, Bombers. Let's get it together this week. CFL Week 6 revelations.
to me, I think the West again will have 4 teams back in the playoffs. I think for me, I think BC's turned it around, playing better. Saskatchewan again, good start. Looked not the greatest against Calgary and all that, whatever happened there, but Calgary and Winnipeg, I think will be battling up there as well. Whereas I think Toronto may dig themselves too big of a hole to come back in, right? Especially with Chad Kelly out, and I think Montreal and Hamilton will kind of pull away there.
It's never over until Labor Day, but man, they're sinking quick.
So much for my Ottawa Grey Cup prediction.
Oh gosh, mine's
Let's
kind
forget
of
I even said that.
mine's kind of looking okay. Hamilton's looking good. They're turning it around. Edmonton is not even close to returning to being a pillar franchise. So much work needs to be done, including making that stadium look comfortable and intimate for 25,000 people. It looks cavernous and horrible on TV. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many more banners they can tarp across or seats or anything like that, but do what you can. Like, restrict the sections that you're selling tickets to. Like, let's hope they get to 35 and 40,000 in the next 4 or 5 years, because that's how long it will take. But until then, to make the league not look like the USFL, cover those seats. Put like a big LED board where it's interactive or something. It looks horrible, man. It looks horrible.
Yeah, what do they have? About 16,000 again? I think they definitely need to either get rid of the ends now of that lower bowl and squeeze them all together or something. But yeah, and I think most leagues kind of need to do that, right? Until they get their attendance kind of figured out, is, squeeze everybody in and have the at least look full, in the first parts, instead of people or fans scattered here, and here, right? So,
and it will help bring people to the park. If they're in this big cavernous stadium, there's no environment. Stadiums, fans aren't connecting. But if you have them like in Montreal and there's 20,000 people and they're having a good time, people want to go to that.
Yeah. And then noise wise, I know Montreal lost their horns this year, but noise wise, that'll be good for the stadium as well. It's unfortunate though, that Commonwealth is big. It's huge, right?
Oh, it's massive. I was there last year and woof.
What are you going to do there, right?
So hard to feel a vibe or get a vibe going.
Yeah, it would be tough.
And
even if you had 25 in there.
And not only is it massive, but you have that stupid track and field track that separates the fans from the field and separates them even more from the other fans from the other side. It's just tragic right now.
CFL really, like with Edmonton Stadium, Calgary Stadium, they really need to start looking at those and hopefully find some options or new venues in the near future.
Crazy. Sorry, Edmonton. Man, we're cheering for you. How many more starts for Tre Ford? Is that clock ticking?
Speaking of Edmonton.
Yeah, it's ticking loudly. Like, I really want to see this guy succeed, and I believe that he should get until Labor Day. But in regards to Edmonton being relevant in the league and being competitive, like 1 or 2 more games, if they're 1-6 after the Ticats and Roughriders, they're screwed. It's almost impossible to save the season, even if you put Fajardo in. So, man, 1 or 2 games.
I do agree with you that once you're done, like falling to losing to Calgary, or sorry, Hamilton and Saskatchewan, like you said, that's what 1-6. He said. Yeah. That's a tough hole to climb out of, especially the way the West is. You got already every team is at 3 wins at least, right? But I feel like you need to give this guy time. And I say half a season, but I even feel like more than that, because this is the year that you almost need to get. You have a new coach who's going to learn on the job. Let him test his season out. And I know it's been a few seasons of testing shit out for the Elks fans and everything like that. But you got to see what you have in this guy finally. Every year he's been pulled, he's been yanked, he hasn't played the whole season. Chris Jones jerked him around for so many years, right? You got to give him a chance. And I feel like half a season would be good, but I even feel like you should go longer and see what you have in Tre Ford. And if you lose this year, you lose this year. All right. I feel like you got to see what you have and if this kid can turn it into anything.
Man, but even if you have, okay, so they had less than 16,000 fans. If you have 2 or 3,000 fans that say F this, he's not the answer, and you're going to stick with him, you're going to be down to 12 to 13,000 fans in a gate driven league, in fans that no longer have hope in the team.
I get it. I mean, if he has more games like last game where he throws for 34 yards only, yeah, okay, let's put Fajardo in there. But if he has more games like he does, like he did against the Bombers, or even in the end against Montreal, you have to stick with him. And it sucks, and I get it. Fans aren't going to come, but why did you keep this guy? Why did you sign this guy again? You know, and what did they sign him for? A couple more years. Plus, you went and got his brother too.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you got to give this guy a chance and see if this will be the year he can turn it around. But yeah, if he's stinking it and getting 40 yards a game, then yeah, there's no point in keeping him in there.
Eyes will be on him this week. And if he is one of the, if not the main reason they lose this week against a tough team that he has to keep up with offensively, Bo Levi, we just talked about with Kenny Lawler, I don't know if he'll last until Labor Day.
Yeah, I hope he does, but yeah, I can see that.
Will the real Nathan Rourke please stand up? Like, this guy beats who he's supposed to beat, then struggles with the rest. What's going on with this dude?
Yeah, I mean, he looked good against Montreal there a couple of weeks ago, and he's dominated Edmonton twice so far this year. So, and then struggled against the Bombers. So, I think he's still gonna have his up and downs. He's still a young quarterback and still hasn't played a lot of football. And then leaving to the NFL for those few years didn't help that. So I think he's still gonna have up and down games here and there, but he's also gonna light it up a lot in some of these games as well. So he's gonna be back and forth. You know, if Toronto's D was better, if Toronto got rid of too many guys on D, that's kind of messing up their chemistry right now, and they're still trying to figure things out. But against that Toronto D from last year, I think he would have struggled as well.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. And he always seems to struggle against the Bombers. So he'll be up and down, but he's still going to be a solid quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I think the version of Nathan Rourke we saw last week is a Nathan Rourke we'll see more often than not. I don't know what the problem is with the Bombers. They have his number. Maybe Richie Hall knows what's going on with Nathan Rourke. He has a secret to breaking this dude. But I think he will be a solid CFL quarterback, and he will be a star in the CFL.
Still, Richie Hall still has it probably to confuse the younger quarterbacks. The problem is a lot of the quarterbacks in the CFL are older. You know, you got besides Alexander and stuff like that in the East. Drew Brown kind of, we'll see. I mean, he had decent games against the Bombers last year, or a decent game, I think. So,
who would you say would be the elite quarterbacks in the league?
geez, Bo Levi right now,
Yeah,
unreal. Because 2 years ago, I was ready to ship that guy off to somewhere else.
Yeah,
I thought he was done. Vernon Adams, great start to the season for me as well. And I'm going to give credit to Davis Alexander, even though he was only a few games into his career, but I think he's right up there right now.
I'm gonna say Bo Levi Mitchell and Zach Claros are the elite quarterbacks in this league.
Still giving it to Zach, eh?
Yep, he's had a couple bad performances this week, but I think he's still one of the top 3. And I think that whole team just had a bad week, to be honest with you.
But he's had the last 2 seasons, a lot more bad games than good games.
Yeah, especially in the Grey Cup.
Yes.
Especially in the Grey Cup. But he's also a former MOP, and he still puts up the numbers. And
that age is starting to catch up to him, though.
Is it? Didn't catch up with him last week. Well,
yeah.
Sorry. I mean, 3 was it with a bye 3 weeks ago, running
bad Edmonton D
touchdowns.
You know, we'll see. We'll see this week against Calgary, but bad Edmonton D definitely helped them out.
Oh my goodness. They are horrible.
They are.
Jeez.
They are.
CFL Rookie Watch. Who are you keeping an eye on? You know I love the O-line. I'm always leaning to shout the O-line or D-line, whatever the line is. So I'm going to shout out Chris Fortin. Shout out to the CFL media department for drawing focus on these young Canadians. You know, going back to the tape and watching the rest of that Calgary O-line against the Bombers, it's like, damn, they are strong. They are calling out assignments, blanking the Bombers in sacks, only getting one tackle for a loss. Dude is playing center, so there's responsibility with that. Riders only got one sack this past week, and they're in the top half of the league with that. So I'm going to give the shout out to the Chris Fortin playing center for Calgary.
That's crazy for a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Coming in there and not starting the season at center, right?
Yeah.
So he came in there and he's filling a big role. I'm going to stick with Calgary because, like I said before, their draft and the guys they brought in have clicked, you know. And
Yeah.
you know, I hate giving Dave Dickinson credit, but so far this year it's all worked out for him. And I'm going to go Damien Alford, who got the TD against the Bombers. Not a lot of yards in that game, but he was quick on that TD pass. 156 yards last week. 2 TDs against Saskatchewan, who has a pretty stout D or had a stout D going into that. So he's already at 221 yards and 3 TDs to start the season. So credit to him and credit to Calgary for, I mean, it was the first overall pick, but you know, for the most part, that doesn't mean anything in the CFL, right? These guys don't usually come in and start tearing up the league in the first few games of the season. And not that he's tearing it up. I mean, last game, yes, he tore it up, but you know, the arrow is pointing up for this guy.
It's definitely going to bring up some conversations in social media about Canadian talent. There's a big contingent of people saying that the ratio sucks and Canadian talent is stagnant and it's the same as it was in years before. And there's some people who disagree and feel that Canadian talent has definitely been improving over the years, especially when you have guys like coming out of Yukon and those big American programs that are getting better training. Like, let's not be ignorant here. People getting opportunities to play football in big NCAA Division I programs are getting better. Have you seen their facilities and the coaches they have? They have like 25 coaches on the staff per player. Like, come on now. Like, there's definitely, I'm just joking there, but there's definitely better training and better resources if you're going and playing NCAA Division I or Division II football compared to U Sports.
Yeah, and that their coaching is better. I mean, the amount of coaching and the video people and everything they have is better than what the CFL can offer. And I think that's where the CFL kind of suffers a bit, is they don't have enough coaches to do all this stuff. They got one coach doing multiple things, you know, and now you don't have enough people for video. You don't have enough of these things where the college sports do have that stuff, right? And I think that's another thing where the CFL needs to look into that a little bit more. But yeah, these guys are getting ready to play. There's more opportunities even for CFL or Canadian quarterbacks, which there hasn't been in the past.
Absolutely.
You know, Nathan Rourke, his brother Curtis Rourke, drafted by the Niners. The Bombers guy that they drafted, can't remember his name again.
From U Sports.
Yes, but you know, there's more opportunity for these guys. So
yeah,
you know, I just see it going up and up for Canadian athletes in the CFL.
Last little bit about the CFL before we move on to week 7. Week 7 already?
Yep. 2 byes for the Bombers.
Oh, CFL schedule makers. Like, that's it. Let's not even talk about them this week. That's your nod CFL schedule makers.
Once a week.
Shaking my head. Shawn Lemon reinstated. Last hot little tidbit here. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have no issue with it. I mean, the guy paid his crime. Yeah, I mean, I know he bet on the league, but it's one time, you know, and I'm hoping he's learned from it. I hope there's some catch or whatever it is that they're going to monitor the guy. And I know it's tough to monitor someone for gambling. You know, it's easier for drugs. You can drug test them constantly, but there has to be some kind of monitors in place. But the guy didn't do anything. I mean, they let Chad Kelly back in, right? So if you're going to let Chad Kelly back in, you're going to let Shawn Lemon back in. So as long as he's learned from the situation, I'm okay with it.
It's good with you're okay with it. We've had different discussions about this. And I know your opinion on betting has been different before. So I'm very
It has.
surprised actually that you're saying this because I've always been okay with Shawn Lemon possibly coming back. I was kind of surprised that he got a lifetime ban. And at the same time, I was like, okay, CFL, pick a side that you're on here. If you're against gambling, then right away, gambling in any form, you're out. But they did an investigation and they released the findings of this investigation that he did not compromise any of the outcomes of the games that he gambled on. So you already had a caveat there. It's either no gambling at all or gambling and there's room to play or whatever. It's ridiculous. I think it looks really stupid on the league. Me personally, again, never thought he should have been lifetime banned. I thought that was mental when they did that, especially with the Chad Kelly thing going on. But I think they effed it up now. Now it looks like a clown show in the league. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, they need to, but that's the thing. Like, if you're going to do this now, hey, let's figure this shit out. So the next time it happens, we either go zero tolerance or we get, give some leeway if it happens again. Right. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if I said lifetime ban should have been the case. I don't think I probably did for lifetime ban. I was fully with suspending him. He should have got suspended. I don't care if he affected the outcome of the game or not. He bet on his game. Yeah, he bet on his team apparently to win. So, and all that, but any player betting on a game that they're playing in, or even in the league, shouldn't be betting at all.
Yeah,
right? Bet on something else. There's so many other sports you can bet on. Don't bet on the league you're playing. But again, I don't think he should have had a lifetime ban and all that. Because there's obviously worse things that's happened in this league than that.
I have no issue with any player gambling on their team to win.
Yeah.
We see that with boxers and fighters all the time. What's the big deal? You're going to gamble on your team to win? So what? Is that going to make you what? Play harder?
Yeah, I think you just get into a bit of a gray area there.
What's gray?
With that.
Are you going to cheat?
No.
Are you going to tell your boys, hey, I'll give you a piece of my $5 if you play harder? Like, I don't get it.
But it just opens up that door and thoughts in people's heads that, hey, next time he might bet against his team. And play like shit or do something, that the league doesn't need.
Well, then you're out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? You're out for sure. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it. Just there's so many other leagues. Just go bet somewhere else.
Play to win the game. If you gamble on yourself, I like that statement, to be honest with you.
Win the game.
You're going to gamble on yourself to win? Heck, yes.
Yeah.
Week 7 predictions. Shawn Lemon, that's going to be a dicey comment online.
Who's going to sign him? He's also suspended for 2 games once he gets signed, right?
Montreal.
For PEDs or whatever the heck it was. Wasn't
Ottawa.
he? Or no?
Winnipeg.
Ooh.
Like, what?
Would you take him in Winnipeg? Would you be okay with Winnipeg signing him?
I was okay with not getting him a lifetime suspension. So yes, with the pass rush that Winnipeg has right now,
they need help.
Sorry, much love. And it's not just the ends. Like the defensive in the middle, there is no pressure collapse in the pocket. Like
talk about loyalty. Is Jake Thomas one of those guys?
Is that a serious question to me?
I like that look on your face. I got my answer.
Sorry, like much love, great bomber, got to lift the cup when they finally broke the streak, but really?
Yeah.
Really? Again, much love. Heart guy. Predictions for week 7. Who do you got?
Toronto, Montreal?
Yeah.
I guess that's Thursday nighter. Davis Alexander back, Chad Kelly not, Winton McManus back. I'm still going Montreal.
I'll go Montreal too. That defense is still good. Davis Alexander is back.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He is back. Yeah.
Montreal.
And no Chad Kelly yet.
For sure.
The unfortunate thing is that I guess the Bombers will end up probably getting Chad Kelly at least once, and they're back-to-back coming up.
What?
The Bombers will be done with 3 teams.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In the next 3 weeks in this league.
We're talking about the schedule makers again.
Calgary, and Toronto.
Talking about the schedule makers again.
Sorry, my bad.
They already got their screen time, airtime. Friday night football, Winnipeg, Calgary. I'm taking Winnipeg at home. I think they win the revenge game. They're good back-to-backs. I think, as far as I can remember, they're definitely good after the bye. So I'm going Winnipeg at home. Zach Caleros cannot play badly twice. They'll figure out a way.
Yeah, like all the stats favor the Bombers with the winning after the bye, undefeated at home, all that stuff. I think this game will be a lot closer, but I'm picking Calgary to take their second game against the Bombers. Yeah, sorry.
Saskatchewan, BC. Who do you got?
I'm going BC in that one. BC's kind of playing a little bit better. This one's in BC, so yeah, I'm going to take BC.
I agree. I'm going to go with BC as well. I like what Nathan Rourke did. I think Saskatchewan looked a little exposed last game, and hopefully BC will capitalize on that. I'm kind of cheering for Buck Pierce.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do well.
Hamilton, Ottawa. I'm going Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think they're going to drive them into the ground. I think Hamilton really starts looking dangerous now for the rest of the year. I'm not going to buy too much into last week, but I think they really start looking dangerous.
Yeah, well, the last few weeks they've kind of, taken a step. And I know last week against Ottawa was close. It was only a 3-point game, and they needed to score late in that one to beat Ottawa.
Yeah,
but they've been getting it done though, and even on defensively on the side of the ball, they've kind of been better, which they weren't last year, and that's where they struggled, kind of thing. So I think they're gonna still win this back-to-back again, another back-to-back already early in the season. So I'm gonna pick Hamilton as well to beat Ottawa again, and I feel for Ottawa. I feel for Bobby Dyce because unfortunately I feel like that could be they got the bye week coming up after that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be the time that they move off of Bobby Dyce if they end up losing this game.
Ooh, you think so?
I think so.
I don't.
What do they got? What's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Rick Campbell. They brought back Rick Campbell, right? He's a special teams coach. To me, that was you're bringing him back because you possibly going to install him as a coach at some point if things don't start off properly, which they haven't for Bobby Dyce. So I think that's why you brought the guy back to have him there for this not the opportunity, but this kind of thing happening in the season.
I think I agree that Rick Campbell could be a go-to plan, but I don't think that decision is made until the off season.
You're 1-5 right now. You could be 1-6. We were talking about Edmonton being out of it soon. Ottawa is going to be out of it soon.
Yeah, but they're in the East. They're in the East. They have a little more breathing room.
Well, no, because that third place is going to walk away because you already got, again, 3 teams in the West with 3 wins already, right?
Who's in second in the East?
Hamilton at 3-2. They're both 3-2, Montreal and Hamilton.
There we go. So they're 2 games behind?
Yeah, but you're going to play your 7th game already here, right?
Yeah, it's tight.
So Winnipeg's and Winnipeg hasn't even played the East yet.
You've also missed your starting quarterback for 3 weeks. That's really tough.
Now you've had him back for the last 2 weeks, and you lost to Edmonton and you lost to Hamilton.
They look better against Hamilton.
That was a tight game for sure.
Yeah.
But losing against Edmonton didn't help. Last week was Hamilton. This week it's in Ottawa.
I think Bobby Dyce gets the year. I don't think they'll axe Bobby
Dice. I hope so. I want to see the guys succeed, man. But
yeah.
I feel like Ottawa's going to feel the pressures on if you fall to 1-6.
CFL fans, put your opinion in the comments section below. Don't forget to leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Benny, you have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? I will say it'll be good to see Milt Stegall back with TSN this week as well. And he'll be in Winnipeg for that game on Friday. So it'll be good to see him back on TV because he's fantastic to watch, right? No holds barred usually when he's talking, kind of thing. So it's good to see him back in there. Otherwise, you know what? Have a good week. And don't forget, subscribe, follow, and go Bombers, go.
He's going to get a huge ovation. There's going to be a lot of number 85s in the stands.
No, for sure.
Which I just heard is sold out.
Yeah, again, freaking fantastic. Keep going. And the Grey Cup is almost sold out as well.
Get your tickets. 1,500 left.
Yeah, not much.
Get your tickets. You got yours?
I got mine. Yep.
I got mine.
For sure.
You better get yours, and we'll see you there. And like LeVar Burton says, in the meantime, in between time, that's it. Another edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.